Howdy, howdy, howdy. Greeting, holy salutation, my brothers and sisters in the faith, all my father's children. We thank you for tuning in. Welcome back. We're glad that you're here in our hearing. I know we don't take this lightly. And I know you guys are super, super, super spiritually filled, recharge, energized. We just came off Holy Week. What a week it was in remembrance, the death, the burial, and resurrection. Man, let me tell you something. I see a lot of folks got closer. Whatever it takes for God to draw people through, I don't criticize because we all are broken. And however state it takes, if it takes Easter Sunday for you to get back close to God, if it takes you to Saturday, to Friday, listen, the fact that you are getting closer and seeking a closer relationship with God, that's what matters. And we salute those new souls that was repented, saved, holy, and sanctified over the holiday weekend. We thank God that heaven is rejoicing, and we thank God for those union, those marriage that was able to mend, by coming to the meet of the mind. And that's what is important. When we put God at the center, it let us see our spouse from the way God sees us instead of from the way the world wants us to see, our spouse. Because a lot of time we come with that mindset that men be so condemning and so criticizing, right? And ready to chastise. But we thank God again for this afternoon. We are, I think, on part 4, if I'm not mistaken. I lost count. 4. I lost count. Y'all forgive me. And supporting your spouse when they're going through a cycle. And if you miss part 1, part 2, part 3, don't be dismayed. It's okay. We have a catalog right there for you. Go back, catch the replay. Have a watch party, right? With your spouse, with your friends, support each other. Talk about it. Give us your input. We solicit your feedback, right? So a lot of time your feedback is how we come up with different topics and stuff like that to help us. So don't think we take your feedback lightly. We do encourage you to give us your feedback and share what you're learning and what you have implemented. We want to hear from you, right, Evangelist?
Yes.
So again, I am truly your girl, Evangelist Nikki McKenzie. I am a child in the kingdom of God, right? But my daily aspiration and my goal is to be better than I was the day before, meaning my relationship with God must elevate every day. I must have a closer walk with God. And not only that, the closer I get to God, the more I become Christ-like. My family, my community, my church, my country will be impacted. So it takes one, and it takes you to make that change. And we have with us the visionary, my mentor, the mastermind, the one that God pricked to help us with this platform, no other than Dr. Evangelist Baker. Yes, this is Prayer for Marriage. And our aspiration is to foster healthy relationships, saving, or even have a mindset for you to think twice about leaving your spouse by building one relationship at a time, one marriage at a time. Because healthy family, healthy community, healthy church, healthy nation. And that's what we're here to foster. So whatever we're telling you is something that we tried, proven, that we know it all, we have it all. A lot of time we have to mess up, right? To have this message for y'all. So don't think that we're here and said, oh, their relationship is perfect. No, we're all here learning, growing together in the grace of the Lord. And we're like, whatever we learned, we want to share it back with you. We want the same thing from you. Give us your feedback. We long to hear from you. Share this platform. Share it with your friends, your neighbor, your family, your co-worker, whoever you interact with. There's someone out there that this is for. And we want you to be good steward, right? All that we're asking you is not only just your prayer, but also to spread this news to someone who's thinking about, listen, I'm at that stage where enough is enough. My spouse is going through a cycle. I can't understand him. This is not what I signed up for, right? You want to exit stage left. Step back, take a breath, listen today. This is for you because we all get to that stage, right? When we get out of the honeymoon and we get on the stage, who is this person? Why are they going through this? They were never like this, right? So it is a part of it. It's not gender neutral, right? It could be either your husband or it could be the wife, right? We all go through those cycles and we need to be able to have each other back and support each other. Right, Evangelist? Yes. So again, thank you all for tuning in today. Welcome for Prayer for Marriages. And we're going to let Evangelist take it over and introduce herself.
I'm always taking over. Why, Evangelist Nikki? So listen, I'm excited today because a lot of times we tend not to support our spouse. We will support everybody else, besides our sport. We will be there for our spouse, and we just don't want to. We'll be there for everybody else except for our spouse. When I'm talking about the husband or the wife. Good evening, those of y'all that's on YouTube, on Facebook. Greetings and salutations. How you doing, Pastor Munoz? Amen, amen, and Dr. Hope. All of you that are watching. Amen. If you don't comment, I can't see who you are. No persons are there. So greetings to everybody, because I don't want anybody to feel slighted. And my co-host, Evangelist Nikki, I'm your girl, Marcia Baker. I'm an evangelist in the kingdom. And y'all hear Evangelist Nikki call me Doctor. Yes, I do have my doctorate degree in psychology. So, some person say, "Are you a psychiatrist?" No, I'm a soulologist. So, psychologist, right? So, I deal with the soul, the inner, to heal you from the inside out. All right. Psychiatrists, they're going to assess you and put you on medication. I'm not doing that, right? That's not my portion of it. All right. And they do help. Psychiatrists do help, but a psychologist deals with the issue from the root. All right. So this is why we're talking about now, supporting your spouse when they're in a cycle, and oftentimes, as Evangelist said, when the cycles come up, and when issues arise, and your spouse is going through something, you have to recognize when these things are happening, right? So we spoke about identifying the triggers and understanding the cycle and addressing the underlying issues, right? And so today we're going to talk about breaking the cycle, the actual cycle, right? And Pastor, Pastor Pastor Nicola said she got some issues to be dealt with from the root. Listen, we have to deal with stuff from the root. Most of the time, what I'm finding out as a counselor, persons just try to put a band-aid on the surface. And most of us know, most if not all of us know, yes, please reach out, right? Most of all of us know that if you get a cut and you put a band-aid on it, and it's on there for a minute, the cut is going to get infected if it's not dealt with, if you don't put the antiseptic on it, if you don't clean it out. Those of you who are more clinical in the healthcare field, you know that you have to dress the wound, and you have to find out what happened. How did you get cut? Right? And so even if you get a paper cut, do you know if you get a paper cut and don't treat it, it starts to fester. Next thing you know, you have a big old sore on your finger from a paper cut because you have not dealt with the root cause of it and got some antibiotic and antiseptic to clean it up. And so this is what we're talking about. So today we're going to be talking about breaking the cycle, right? And one of the things that they as I was looking, I got did my research on psychology today, and it says that you have to identify your own role in the cycle. I bet you never thought about that. We could play a part in our spouse's cycle that they're going through, right? Now, what we have to do is take responsibility for our contribution in the cycle and make conscious choices to change our responses. Sometimes our response to our spouse while they're in their cycle can cause damaging effect. If we're saying, "Oh, you're always going through something," Lord have mercy. Nobody wants to hear that when they're going through. When someone is going through something, the last thing they want to know is, "Oh, you need to come out of that." Listen, you have to make conscious cycles to say, did I play a role? Start self-reflecting. Did I play a role? What could I have done not to re-trigger the situation, right? So not that you're going to blame yourself. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm going to say, okay, let me give it an example. Say, for instance, your husband or your spouse is going through, they're dealing with anger, and you trigger them. That could be something too. So we've got to be mindful, right? Now, I'm not saying to walk on eggshells either, right? So I just have to make sure that we are comprehending and understanding what your spouse is going through, and be sensitive, because you don't want to create any additional emotions while they're in that cycle. Say, for instance, if they're addicted to a substance, you want to make sure that you are nurturing, and we spoke about nurturing the spouse. You want to make sure that you're nurturing and you're not causing more damage than good through our communication. And I think we talk about our communication that needs boundaries, right? You got to clearly and respectfully express your needs and boundaries and set clear expectations, even while they're going through the cycle, so that it's not repeated. Because it's nothing worse than you keep going through the same old cycle, the same time every year, right? Now, when we spoke about identifying the triggers, if your spouse lost a loved one, so they lost a parent or a child or a close friend, they lost of a loved one, right? Loved one could include a very close friend, relative, right? Or a job, something near and dear. And you don't, you notice every time a certain time of the year comes, they go into like a silence mode, right? And then you have to reflect now, okay, last year, this time, so and so passed away. So here it is again. So you got to break that cycle. So you either take them out of the situation, change the environment to do something different, so that that cycle can begin to break. You don't want to keep repeating the same cycle. Bless you, my sister surviving Sandra. Bless you, my niece, right? And so a lot of times we don't address the situation, and so the cycle keep repeating. Same thing if they're alcoholic, if they're addicted to sex, drugs, alcohol, you name it, whatever the addiction is, church, right? You've got to be able to break that cycle. Break the cycle, but it's important because that healing can begin. Healing can begin, and you can get your spouse back, right? And so while you're breaking the cycle, you also have to learn how to de-escalate. Lord, listen, it seems like, right, marriage is hard work. And it is. When I tell you marriage is hard work, it's work. Like that song by Elevation Music saying, lace up your boots and put on your backpack because it's time to ride. Yes. You're gonna have to lace up your boots. You're gonna have to pull your big girl panties, pull your big boy briefs up, and get to fighting for your spouse, because so many things can trigger. Oh my God. Speaking of triggering, it could be an in-law, it could be a sister-in-law, a mother-in-law, cousin-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law. It could be a third party that keeps on every time you feel like everything is going good, and here comes somebody to mess it up, and you go back through that cycle again. So it's not necessarily an addiction. It could be a friend who keeps coming around and re-triggering certain emotions. So listen, let me tell you something. Studying this about supporting your spouse when they're in a cycle, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. Yes. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Thank you for saying that. Stop divorcing at the drop of a hat. Minister Crystal and I, we were speaking on this earlier today, that the divorce rate that we're seeing, especially in the kingdom, oh God have mercy. There's no stickability. Like, I don't even know if that's the word.
Stickability.
Right.
No stickability.
Thank you. There's no stickability. The first sign of something, you ready to throw in the towel, right? And you have to understand that the enemy don't want kingdom, well, not just kingdom. The enemy don't like families, because he doesn't have one. We always say the devil and his mother-in-law. He don't have no wife. He don't have no children. He got agents that works with and for him, but he doesn't have a family. We have families, and the kingdom of God is made up of families, right? Made up of families. So you have to understand that the enemy don't want to see families together, whether they're in the kingdom kingdom or whether they're outside of the kingdom. So what you have to do is when you get married, listen, you stood at the altar or you stood at the courthouse and you said for better and for worse. But when for worse come when they're in a cycle, you're ready to throw in the towel. No, sit down, have a good, effective communication and say, okay, babe, I noticed last year around this time it was the same thing. You were triggered by something. Talk to me. What happened? And let it be a safe space, a no judgment zone, so your spouse can open up to you. Listen, I create the space. If my husband is quiet for 2 hours, I'm like, you all right? And he gives me that eye like, yes, I'm fine. Give me that eye majesty because if he's too quiet, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, you all right? What's going on? What's happening? And so the communication is there, it's open, and we're talking and we're vibing, right? And so you have to know, like I think last week was what in last week's session we talked about learning the temperature of your spouse, knowing when they're triggered and knowing when things are not so good with them. You got to know this. You that I'm listen look, you that is listening, you that is watching, you have to know your spouse, know their mood, know their nonverbal communication, know what they're saying, right? Blessings to you, everyone. So, again, you have to know and recognize when your spouse is out of kilter with you. You have to know that. You have to know that. Let me tell you something. When you've been with a person for a certain length of time and they go quiet and you know that's not their normal routine, you got to say, wait a minute, hold up, what's going on? Are you all right? Is there anything I can do to assist you? How can I support you? Sometimes your spouse just want to talk. They don't need no advice. They just want to talk. They just want to vent, especially if they work in the corporate work. Not even just corporate, any kind of work. And they come home. They just want to vent. Just hear them out. Let them talk, right? Yes. Right. You can be right, but like Dr. Hope said, you can be right, but say or do something at the wrong time. And
Your
then
timing is important.
right. So your timing. And this is why you have to know your spouse. Know if he's too quiet, you're like, you know what, let me give him a moment. Or if he come home and he got a certain look on his face and he don't give me that kiss or that hug like Mr. McKenzie likes when he comes home, he wants that heart to heart, right? Not the shoulder to heart, the heart to heart, right? And if one day he come home and he doesn't do the heart to heart, Evangelist gonna be like, wait a minute, something is off because he normally come home and gotta get that heart to heart. You gotta notice their patterns, right? Because they all have patterns. We all have patterns that we do, and
Creatures of habits.
right, we're creatures of habit. So when something don't go the way we think they're supposed to go, and then we're saying, wait a minute, hold on. I didn't get my heart to heart today. And then you go and you see them look, you see him looking a certain kind of way, you're like, all right, let me give him a moment. And then if the moment is taking too long, you're like, babe, are you okay? What's going on? I didn't get no, you didn't come for your heart to heart. And then they'll start talking. And when they start talking, just let them talk.
Yes.
Just let them talk. Just let them talk. Listen, ladies, I'm going to be gender specific with this one. Some of you been coming to me saying, my husband don't talk no more because you have stopped listening to him. You have stopped listening to him. When they speak, sometimes my husband used to say, you don't hear it, huh? You don't hear it when I said so. So I started listening. And because I don't want him to come back and say, you know what? You know, I said that to you, but you didn't listen. So I started paying close attention. They speak, ladies, but when they shut down, then you get nervous and say they're not talking. Oh, my husband don't want to communicate. Listen, learn how to de-escalate. When a conflict arises, this is part of breaking the cycle. Right now, ladies, I'm going to be gender specific on this. Some of us know, some of us had graduated from the school of hothead. I know Lady Renee used to say this a lot. Lady Renee Thomas, right? Some of us have graduated from the school of hothead. Some of us we still in kindergarten. We coming up. We coming up the ranks, right? We hothead, we have strong personalities, and then we carry that over into the marriage, and it's causing chaos in the marriage. Listen, hurry up and get your diploma, your high school diploma. Hurry up, because you got to graduate from that. You got to graduate. You got to learn temperance. We spoke on the Titus 2 woman on here for like a month, right? We spoke on that. So you have to know that when your spouse is going through a cycle, you have to know how to de-escalate when conflict arises. And we spoke on conflict resolution on Before You Say I Do. Reach out to me. We'll send you that. MarciaBakerMinistries at gmail.com for a small fee. We dealt with conflict resolution in the marriage, right? And so we have to try to remain calm to avoid escalating certain situations. My husband has mastered staying calm. I wish I could stay calm like him. And I'm learning, I'm thriving. I haven't graduated yet, but I'm close to graduation. Got a few more credits to go, so I can graduate. So you have to know how to de-escalate. Another thing that we have to do too is, still under breaking the cycle, right? Pause and reflect. How many of you, when an argument arises, when an issue arises, before reacting, take a moment to consider what you want to say and how you want to respond. Don't just fly off like Dr. Hope said. You can be saying the right thing, but it's the wrong time. Now is not the time to say, "Oh, I told you so."
Right.
No, it's not the time to shake your neck, right?
That would not create a safe space.
That is not a safe space, right? You don't want Delilah to create a safe space for him to lay in her lap. No, you don't want that. Pastor Nicola said it's easier for men than women. It is easier. That's why I say, ladies, we got to graduate from the school of hardhead, of the headstrongness. We just got to graduate from it, right? So listen, Pastor Nicola said, ladies have much more words capacity. Men have fewer words per day. Listen, we are a dictionary. We can reel it out, right? We can reel it out. Let's just say some women and some men, right? But listen, ladies, you got to learn how to have few words. Have few words. Have few words. I remember some years ago, I asked her, she was a mother, one of the mothers in the church, and she said sometimes, well, she have a lot of words, right? I'm not gonna say talk too much. She has a lot of words, like Pastor Nicole say it, right? And she said she used to put duct tape on her mouth so that she wouldn't respond to her husband or she wouldn't speak. That works for her. I'm not telling anybody to put duct tape on your mouth, but if needs be, right? You got to do what you've got to do to make your marriage work. Now, everything is not in black and white or written in stone. Try different things to break in the cycle. Pause and reflect. If you're always responding and reacting, take a moment and relax. Woosa. Yeah, I know you want to respond to that. I know they opened the door and put it on automatic, and you want to respond to it, but just don't even say nothing. Don't even say nothing. Just nod and smile. Nod and smile. Yeah? Nod and smile. Because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is you're going to escalate the situation and it's going to be worse, right? Listen, study to be quiet for a moment and do your own business. Drink your water. Drink some water. Listen, that's what you need to do, right? Every time your spouse is in a situation, or you and your spouse is in a conflict and you know you want to react, just drink some water. My God. Just
Yeah, that's the one I'm familiar with. You just put some water in your mouth
just
and
put
you
some
just
water in
snort.
your mouth, right? Put some water in your mouth so you don't cough, right? Because you don't want to choke on the water, right?
Right.
Dr. Hope said you can win the war, but you will lose the battle.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
And that's
yes,
not what
yes.
we want. We're not trying to win no war so we
Mhm.
can lose the battle. No. It got to be a win-win. We're going to
Yeah, we're
collaborate with
looking for a
our spouse.
collaboration, right?
Collaborate. Listen, it's you and your
Mhm.
spouse. It's you and
Yeah,
your spouse
it's
against the
not a
world.
competition.
It's not a
Mhm.
competition. You listen, listen, compete to be the best of yourself
Yes,
with your
I like
spouse.
that.
That's the
Yes,
only
yes.
competition you're in. Competing to be
Hmm.
the best spouse, the best of the best for your spouse.
Hmm.
How can I be a better wife? How can I be a better
Yeah.
husband for my spouse? My husband is going through a cycle. I want to be a better spouse. Collaborate. Listen, if your spouse is low on something, nobody out on the outside of the house should know. Nobody should know. Nobody should know. Nobody. Now, are you going to be always be in agreement with what your spouse does? No, but you can agree to disagree. You're collaborating. I'm telling you, pause and reflect, de-escalate the situation because y'all know y'all some hot heads. Be some. I used to be a hothead. Trust me. So I'm telling you. I tell you, I haven't graduated yet because sometimes my head I can feel the steam rising, right? So I just have to pause, reflect, and smile and drink my water. Drink my water and mind my business, right? So you have to know that you set the tone with your spouse. And I'm not saying wife. I'm not saying husband. You man, you woman, you set the tone with your spouse. So you listen, I know my husband. I know him. I know what listen. This is how much I'm learning still, right? If when I cook dinner and it's ready and I say, babe, the dinner is ready and he'll might be watching TV and I said, babe, come, the dinner is ready. And he'll come and it's not on the table. He said, but it's not ready. Technically, it's not because he can't eat because I haven't dished it out. So then next time I dished it out, put it on the table, I said, babe, your dinner is ready. Then he comes to the table and he said, but it's not ready. Where's yours? So then he says, don't call me if your food is not on the table so we can sit together and eat. He don't want to start eating and then I'm still dishing out mine. So what I do now, when both plates is on the table, I said, babe, the dinner is ready. Simple. I'm not gonna say, well, sit down and eat. I done cook. No, 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 no. We're collaborating, right? We're gonna enjoy each other's company. So, well, sit down and eat. I done cook. We're gonna make sure that we're not causing any any additional trauma. We're going to take responsibility for our contribution in the cycle because guess what? We're going to break the cycle. They're not going to continue in this
Yes,
cycle.
yes.
They're not. They're not gonna continue in a cycle. Listen, if they've been in a cycle 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, some persons are in cycles for 10, 20 years. No,
Yeah.
we're breaking that cycle.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some cycles that we can't do on our own, and we understand that.
Yes.
And so we do encourage seeking professional help. We
Yep.
do encourage that, if it's the same trauma that keep repeating itself, and you tried,
Mm-hmm.
tested and truth, you tried setting the boundaries and the support and all of that. We understand it's a lot of work, and that's why we have no shameless plug. We have Dr. Baker, and we have a team here. If we can't get the answer for you, we will point you in the right direction.
Yep.
We'll make sure that you get the support that you need because the last thing we want is now that your spouse trigger becomes your trigger.
Right.
Okay.
And that's
We
the
don't want
worst
that.
part. That's the worst part of it.
Yeah.
You don't want to
Yeah.
trigger them. You don't. When you identify what's triggering them, you just make sure. That's why you're going to identify your role, identify
Mhm.
and address your role in the situation so that the cycle can be broken because it can be broken. And like Pastor Nicola said, right, we don't want to just keep divorcing. Listen, you see
Right.
people divorcing
Because then
Oh,
you run from the same thing, and then you find that same spirit in someone else, and you continue that cycle with that
absolutely.
same person,
Mm-hmm.
and you continue it with that same person. That's where
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the topics we're going to eventually do is to study and there's different stages of marriages, but we're
Mm-hmm.
going to delve in like three to be TBD, right? We're studying like three different stages, and this isn't stage two, where a lot of people, when it get hard, when you're trying to understand the person and they're no longer have the mask on, the
Mm-hmm.
honeymoon is gone, the fog is gone, and the real authentic self shows up, all the demons and his siblings showing up, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I did not sign up for this. A lot of
Right.
times people quit. And that's how we say when you recognize it, you get to create that safe space and
Mm-hmm.
encourage them to reflect back how long this been happening. Because a lot
Right.
of times the triggers are just a symptom, it's not the
Mm.
root
It's not the
issue.
rule.
So offer practical help to help them get through it. Be intentional and don't, whatever they share with you in those moments, don't use it as a weapon to weaponize them. You will
Absolutely.
sink them further away. So that even
Mm-hmm.
if you get professional help, they will shut down, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be intentional about identifying these cycles. I know that there is help. It's not the doomsall, and the best way is to exit stage left. No, we can work through it, and we're here as a support system for you to help you get through this. Like I said, we don't know it all, but we'll point in the right direction if it's something that we know that, hey, so and so would be a better fit to help you.
Right.
But we don't want you to sit there and say it's been going on 10 years. I saw him steer, and every year, like Evangelist said, it might be an anniversary death or something, or when their parents abandon them or something, that day is significant with trauma.
Yes.
Encourage them to use that day into a positive, turn it
Mm-hmm.
into something positive, go
Mm-hmm.
out, do something that they enjoy,
Yes.
cook them their favorite meal, take them to their favorite movie or a store or something to detach from those things that keep you sunk in this never ending hamster wheel. We can get through it, but we got to be practical and intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel like you're in this by yourself.
Right.
And,
Because you're not. You're
everybody
not.
got it all figured out. But the key thing is be patient.
Be
If
patient.
they did not get there overnight like that,
Mm-mm.
so we have to be patient and consistent in showing up, reinforcing, and supporting that we have each other.
Yep.
And as Evangelist said, it's, if it's something they said, I'm just sharing with you, doesn't mean you go call up all your pastor and, the prior team and everybody and
Right. Listen, let me tell
use
you
wisdom,
something. And
right?
that's
Use
the worst
wisdom.
thing. That's the worst thing you can do. Pastor Nicola says so true. A pastor that remarried told me he's having the same problems he ran from in his first wife, but he is learning to deal with this with his present wife. You have to. You have to.
Yeah.
And guess what? I was telling someone, I said, whatever is in you that is not
You're
resolved,
going to attract. You will
you're going to
attract.
attract it, and getting married is going to bring out that nasty beast of
Oh,
it in
yeah.
you. So you getting married don't resolve a whole lot of issues.
Oh, no.
It don't resolve it, right? Evangelist Cheryl says cycles are repeating behavior, but seasons can be changed together. Your vows are
Mhm.
for better, for worse. Yes, we said at the beginning. Is Cheryl? I grew up with Evangelist Cheryl. Welcome, Evangelist Cheryl. Listen, we have to be intentional in 2025 about our marriages. We have to be intentional about our spouse. We have to make sure we're giving them 100% of ourselves. And trust me, it will be reciprocated. When you give a
Yes,
hundred,
yes,
you're
yes.
gonna get 100. You're gonna get 100 when you give 100. If you give 10, you're gonna
Absolutely.
receive 10. If you give five, you're gonna receive
Yep.
five. But what I'm noticing is persons are giving five and want 100. My mom was saying, "No son
Mm-mm.
cannot sing, so no song."
Yeah, I was like, whatever a seed you sow, you
That's
cannot
what you're
complain
gonna
about the
read.
harvest. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't complain about the harvest. You got to check the seed that
Listen,
you sow.
listen.
That's what you're going to heal from that harvest.
This is why. This is why you have to. These cycles, like Evangelist Cheryl say, right? They're repeated behavior. And listen, how do we break something? By doing something different.
Friends, yeah.
You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and think it's going to be changed. Now, I'm about
And
to say
expect a
something,
different
and a lot of
result.
y'all going to be mad. You've been praying over it for the last 10 years. So obviously, your prayer is not working.
Well, at this point, it's not even prior
It's not
because
prayer. It's more
it's not even
practical.
prior. Yeah.
Do
Because once
something
you already
different.
say it, yes, once you gotta get out of the spirit now and get into this physical and do the work, right? We can't churchify and wish away and pray away certain things. Some things just take practical. You gotta get the help you need, the support system that you need, and most importantly, have that conversation in love, genuine love and compassion. Don't badger your spouse. Don't judge them. Don't criticize them. Don't condemn them. Don't call them, all these ungodly name and,
Yeah,
well, that's
please
why they
don't
said
do
I,
that.
yeah, don't you're gonna push them furthermore into a cycle that they will sink themselves so far that they won't get out of. So,
Mhm.
be compassionate.
Yeah.
Ask them genuine, open-ended question,
Hmm.
and so you could get to the root cause of it. And like I said, a lot of time is it will take reinforcement. It might take help, it might take counseling, and that's okay. It's okay to find a neutral party that can listen to get to the root cause of it. Because if you've seen the same thing happening and you constantly getting the same result, that's insanity if you
That's
keep doing the
insanity.
same thing.
That's
Yeah.
insanity. You're doing the
You
same
gotta
thing
pay attention.
you're doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It's
And
no.
some folks wear it as a badge of honor. I know some folks they go through certain
Yes.
cycles, certain time
Yes.
of the year, and they're like, well, it's my season. Well,
Right. No,
sweetie,
it's
that
not.
season is
Switch
not
that
bearing you the
season
fruit
up.
of the spirit. So
Right,
I don't
Pastor
want that
Baker,
type of
switch that
season.
season.
Yeah, come on. Oh, well, y'all know when it's this time of the year, this is what I go through. It's my
Mm-mm.
season. So
No.
no, that doesn't give you the right to disrespect people, to trigger people, and to abuse others because you
Right.
refuse to get healed.
Right.
It does not give you the right to do that. So
Mm-mm. It
that's why I said when
doesn't.
you identify those things, you can't wear it as a badge of honor, and everybody's supposed to walk on eggshell. You
No.
know,
No.
get the proper help that you need to support each other.
Listen. We always run out of time, not out of information, right? So we're gonna come back next week, and we're gonna give you some other tools to help facilitate coming out of the cycle and what you need to do. Let me tell you this, right? Um, and I'll wait till next week to say it, but just come back next week because it is very important what we need to do to help further come out of it. And listen, our goal here on Prayer for Marriages is that we're going to save marriages one family at a time, one couple at a time. And so what I want you to do for us tonight is go ahead and share this broadcast. You never know who needs this information for free. Dr. Hope normally say we start at 7 p.m. every Monday night from 7 to 7:30. We're over a little bit tonight, but it's okay. From 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. every Monday night we're here, right? Dr. Hope always say we're giving this advice for free. This half an hour is for free. I do have a free 15-minute consultation if you need support. The first 15 minutes is free. After that, it's a fee, right? Because these are the only times that is free, right here. Right here. That's why it's good when you interact, ask your questions, we can respond to you. All right. Listen, if you have not yet become a part of our Thursday night community, listen, it behooves you. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, to become a part of our Thursday night community
I
before you say I
agree.
do. Listen, it's not on YouTube, it's not on Facebook, it's only on Zoom. This week, we're going to be talking about, are you living a balanced life? Hmm. I
And
know,
what's that look like for you?
and
Come with your question. We
that's
want you to
right.
share. What does that look like for you? So it's going to be interactive. Tell a friend, phone a friend, call a friend, because we hear this over and over. Balanced life, work-life balance, family
Hmm.
balance. What does
Hmm.
that look like for you? And is it really healing a balance for you? So we want to give you all the tools that you're going to need to just have an eye opening. Like how you were doing it probably wasn't working out because you're
Still
not
not
doing it
working out.
right. Right? So please share it with someone. Again, it's intimate, it's a safe space, and we want you guys to come with your question, come with your spouse, your children. It's a safe space where we want to be able to help us foster healthy homes.
Pastor Nunez, the link is on my page. I haven't put out the flyer for this week yet, but the link is on my Facebook page. It's the same link that we use. You have the link
Same
already,
Zoom link.
Pastor. It's the same Zoom link. You have it already, Pastor Nunez. So I mean Munoz. I don't know why did I say Nunez. Munoz. I'm thinking of Dr. Elaine. But yes, become a part of our Thursday night community. You don't want to miss it. And we've been doing First Thursday prayer, y'all. Listen, matter of fact, on May 1st, which is a Thursday, I'm going to be a part of a panel breaking the cycle of mental health, breaking the barriers in mental health. And I'm slated to do the piece on marriages. So y'all, that's my passion. It's a free event. It's going to be held at the Tamarack Community Center in Tamarack, Florida. So you want to be a and none of I don't. Listen, I'm just gonna call you Pastor Nicole because I listen. I understand, right? I understand. I don't like when people say my name incorrect. So I get you, right? Listen. So you want to be a part of that on May 1st? It's a free event and upcoming events June 26th through 28th. Please mark your calendars to meet us in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for the Divine Alignment Conference 2025, our first in-person conference. You don't want to miss it. The registration is only $50. Listen, we have Apostle Javon Miller. We have Apostle Lisa Vini. We have Apostle Prophet Romando Johnson. We also have the Apostle Lenville Nelson. You have yours truly, myself, Dr. Marcia Baker, and Pastor Renard Baker Sr. Listen, and a host of others that are coming. Listen, we convene June 26th and end in June 28th. You don't want to miss Divine Alignment. The flyer is on my page and more information is coming out. All you have to do is just scan the QR code to register, whatever payment method you need. Listen, and I spoke to the hotel. Listen, she's working out on a good deal for me. I'm blocking some room so we can have a great deal. All right. So listen, just stay tuned for that. But join us next Thursday, this Thursday night,
Yes,
April
Thursday.
24th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. How to live a balanced life. Listen, we love you. God bless you. Listen, before you go, one thing we need you to do for us, share the link, copy, comment, like, share. Listen, if you are not yet a part of our um YouTube community, please go over there to YouTube and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so when we go live, you will see. All right. So we love you on behalf of myself and Evangelist Nikki. Have an awesome rest of your Monday. All right. God bless you and good night.
Blessings, blessings.